Aber du bist auch sehr flexibel mit deinen Zeiten, oder? Also du auch so Wochenende hast du vorgeschlagen und so weiter. Also hm. 21. Mai? Ah, okay, okay, ist ja bald. Okay, super. Mhm. Mhm. Ja, wo arbeitest du? Bei Bain and Company oder wo? Oh, okay, okay, ja, krass. Ja, Management Consulting ist auf jeden Fall heftig, oder? Ähm, mhm. Ja, ja. Mhm. Super. Mhm. Ja, super. Und dann hast du dir Low-Code als Thema ausgesucht für deine Masterthesis? Ja. Mhm. Mhm. Ja, super. Ja, nice, nice. Kurz, ich habe hier auch so einen Mic, ne? Ist es für dich in Ordnung, wenn ich das dann aufnehme und dann auf meinem YouTube-Channel, ich werde es noch editieren und so. Wir können dann auch auf Englisch switchen, wenn wir das Interview machen. Wenn es für dich in Ordnung ist, gerne mit dir. Also ich würde, das passt, ne, wenn ich das Interview einfach so veröffentliche. Wenn da irgendwas ist danach, was dir nicht so gefällt oder so, kann ich es auch sein lassen oder halt rausschneiden. Aber ansonsten denke ich, ist auch für dich gut. Denke ich mal, wenn da irgendwas kommt, ich werde das dann auch LinkedIn publishen. Aber auch für mich ist das nice, ne? Einfach für die Präsenz da online. Ja. Mhm. Mhm. Ja, okay, ja, okay, passt, passt. Ja, okay, okay. Ja, klingt gut. Ja, kein Problem. Dann, ich werde das einfach veröffentlichen nächste Woche irgendwann. Like recently, I had a interview, and now I'm publishing it or something like that. Okay, 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 super. Ja, nice. Soll ich auf Record drücken oder drückst du? Du brauchst es auch für dich, oder nicht? Ja. Okay, okay, okay. Aber genau, okay. Dann sagst du mir einfach, wenn wir anfangen, ich gebe dir die Moderation und genau, dann schieß mal los, ist dein Meeting. Mhm. Aha. Ah, ach so, ja, klar, klar, kann ich machen. Am Anfang, wenn wir anfangen zu recorden, ne? Meinst du? Mhm, okay. Yeah, I'm giving the consent to record the interview. Ja, also, okay, von der Tour. Ja, 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 true, true. Ich wollte einmal drin weil es publishen wird, meinst du? Ähm, äh, nee, 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 ist dein Interview? Ich werde danach noch so ein kleines Intro-Video machen und dann einfach dann anfangen. Aber das werde ich separat machen. Ich muss noch überlegen, wie ich das Intro-Video mache. Aber lass uns einfach hier, du kannst anfangen und dann werde ich das Intro und dann können wir unser Interview, das gehört dann dir. Okay. Mhm. 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 Yeah, we can get started. I will share anything I can on what I think is relevant. Yeah, so my name is Ömer Kafoğlu. I'm from Germany, and I studied business information systems. I worked at SAP, the software company in Germany, Waldorf, for a couple of years. I did mainly low-code development there in Mendix for 4 years or something like that. And after that, when I left, I started as a freelancer for different companies. I did Mendix development, right? Companies who just freshly started with Mendix, and companies who already had the Mendix platform, basically using and wanted to have support in app development. And I did that for also 3 years now. And then last year, recently, I founded my company LocodeX, where we provide Mendix services to all kind of companies, mainly with a focus to SAP integration, but overall also because I have experience in the aerospace, in the finance sector, in the insurance sector, in the manufacturing sector, management consulting sector, like different sectors, and like implemented low code Mendix platform or apps and developed for different processes in those spaces. And what is a major focus also for us is especially the integrations, right, with different systems, because the corporates, those are the clients we had, it's big corporates. There's always data going through a process, and they have to somehow manage this data or process and support that process with people and a tool basically which helps during the process to achieve it more efficient, right? Make it more efficient and digital. That's to me. Mhm. Yeah. My experience is there are actually three factors. They would before they decide for low code or traditional, right? Which way to go. So the usual way is the traditional coding, right? So it's not really a decision they have to make made earlier. And now there's a low code trend happening. When I started, low code was like in 2017, 18, it was not that trendy. It was still trendy, but not everyone knew it. Now it's, I mean, you're writing your thesis about it. So and I had a couple of students interviewing me over the time. And the thing is that nowadays it's a more trendy topic. So more IT organizations or organizations, the IT is asking the question, or maybe also the business, if to adopt low code or go with low code. When you decide this, if traditional or a low code, you basically it's not about a certain app or project you build, right? It's not about that you say, I want to build this app in low code and this one in traditional coding. Not initially. So what you first do is, do I want, as an organization, use a low code technology platform to enable my organization? Because what is not useful is to just say, hey, there's an app, let's build it in low code, and then that's it, right? You have to get the advantage of the whole low code platform and your whole organization. So when you would decide to, if I should enable my organization doing low code, as I have my organization enabled, like that they do traditional coding, that there are like structures, governance, how this whole process works, then you consider three factors why you would do it. First is the speed. So you're much faster with low-code development, such as Mendix, than with traditional coding. And therefore, you save cost, you save time. And nowadays, a lot of projects, they take too long or they fail after a certain time. But with this, you can in short time try out new things and be also innovative, right? But also solve things you otherwise in your bucket list would not get to because there's too much demand and the IT capacity supply is too low. And that would be one factor. The other one would be that what was it? Cost, which actually goes hand in hand with the speed. It's basically you save costs by reducing development time by being more efficient, but also there are benefits in collaboration with business and IT. So in all of my projects I worked in Mendix, there's always business people in that project who say like, "Hey, I'm the guy who or the woman who knows everything about the process we are right now building the app for, so I can tell you everything about it." But suddenly, that person is not only someone who tells us what are the requirements, but also can have hands-on, can do maybe some little things, but also gets visual representation really fast back from the low-code platform. So I oftentimes sit on the computer and I was explaining what we're doing or so, and I could do it just on the fly or show the code visually and tell a story so the business could understand what it is about. So collaboration-wise, it brings the business and IT closer. And the other thing is also that also goes now hand in hand with on which what I said is the citizen developer. So in the very beginning, it was more and like there was this target group of citizen developers. It was kind of the idea of from a business, you don't need to have that technical expertise. You can get started with low code, pretty easy. It's accessible for everyone, more or less. But at the end, where the trend now goes is that it's there are more like fusion teams. So usually people like yourself, you said it right. You're still technical, even you didn't study IT, so far I understood correctly. And still you do low code as a topic because nowadays people are more like the IT. We grew up with the whole technology, right? So we know how to use things, we know how to get to things, and in the IT world, in the software industry, and then it's more about that their fusion teams are mixed of people from pro developers who are more like from when it comes to integrations or different more pro code relevant things to citizen developers, to business analysts, domain expertise, and so on. Different roles in one team, and the low code platform is supporting all of the roles in one place so they can work together. The citizen developer is still in some low code platforms or no code platforms marketed and as a thing for companies to decide, hey, go with low code. Anyone in your organization can do it. In Mendix, it's not anymore the case. They define this differently. But I would say like no code platforms, right? There is less complexity maybe in the platform itself. Are more targeted for citizen developers, but like Mendix is really for big enterprises. It's for IoT integration. It's for and governments are using it. There are different things which makes it then you can't as a citizen developer do it all on your own. And I had clients. I had one project where it was pretty interesting. That it was about they took 1 year to decide if they no, which low-code platform to go with. Before that, they took some time if they want to go with low-code, and then after 1 year, they decided with going with Mendix. And in just 3 months, we built the whole like first MVP, the prototype, and there was a board meeting. There were all the stakeholders, and they were amazed, like what we created in 3 months. And the thing was that they were like, why did we use too much time evaluating the platform instead of trying? And then we would have been already solved the things. The IT, on the other hand, they were more like, for the IT, it's kind of like, okay, low code seems to be a threat, even it should not be, because it's more like it's getting you closer to the business. It's just another tech stack in your in your stack and technology in your stack, and that's it. It's not like replacing any IT organization. It gives just different responsibilities or like things to take care of too. So the IT was then, for example, saying, hey, it's way too fast. It's so fast that the business can't really create the user stories, understand the things, and so on. So could be also, and that's the experience I have. Sometimes it's so fast that the clients and that the business can't come after that. And also, what was there the case is we evaluated the citizen developer, right? So there was one person who was a business who never did a software project before. He could do things in Mendix, and it was good. But the citizen developer thing was still like, okay, it can be true, it can't be. It really depends on the person, right? It's not like anyone you sit will do it. So that was the evaluation at the end, but overall very positive. And that's what the organizations usually would evaluate if they want to go with low code. And then about which platform, that's another question. I'm asking my own question. Yeah, so it is about you're creating a vendor log, right? You basically the tools you're creating. You're dependent on the local platform you choose. So you want to understand when I choose that local platform, that company who provides it, who are they? First off, like, are they reliable? Are they innovative? Are they like supporting and so on? So with Mendix, you have also Siemens basically backing up because Siemens acquired Mendix in 2018, something 18, yeah, I guess. And then it's for big companies, corporates, much easier to go with Mendix because they know it's backed up by Siemens. And also, that's one thing. So you want to understand who you're creating the vendor log to. Because I had also a client one time, a potential lead, who was like, no, I don't want to go with Mendix. I want to go with open source platforms, local platforms. And he showed me some. But then that open source one, for example, his favorite turned out to be just recently turning into a paid model, where, and like the way how he wanted to do it. So suddenly, look, there is the dependency. So that what you think is an open source then can become to hey, I need to make profit, some company acquired and whatever, and all that kind of stuff. But besides of that, you want to understand like the size of your to be honest, Mendix is targeting more the enterprises, right? The like IoT, I already said, because of the Siemens part, then the whole SAP systems when you integrate with the systems, then the cloud deployments, the multi-cloud, you would decide on those ones. Then you would decide on the community, for example. That's what I think is one of the most important thing. When I get started with Mendix, there was a huge community support welcoming me, and now I'm an MVP myself, so I'm also trying to support other ones, and it makes a huge difference. So because you have this, because as a company, when you opt in for a local platform, you have to also see like, hey, wait a second, someone has to build apps on the local platform, let's say Mendix. Yeah, I can train my people, but I want to get started already with experienced people. So how does the market look like of developers? Right now, I can tell you a lot of there's also a demand for a lot of low-code developers, also for Mendix especially. So it's not like that suddenly we have a local platform, oh, your all IT delivery thing is solved. No, we still like have problems in the IT capacity, but we have a new field where like a little amount of developers can create faster results, right? So you would look into the market. How does it look like? And maybe not only the current state, but also are people interested becoming a Mendix developer, right? I would, for example, ask my internal IT or like my business or whatever, what I think who would do it, or get an idea of, hey, when you would use that low code platform, how do you feel about it? How is your experience? How is the community doing? You know, that you can understand that you don't opt into a low code platform and no one wants to do it. You know, it's like, ah, no, that's not a good choice and so on. I personally, to be honest, I left SAP back then because I couldn't really see my journey continuing with Mendix at SAP due to some the decisions or things and what was happening there totally legit, totally fine. But for me, it was like, no, I go there where I can use Mannix as a local platform to do the things. So the developers, they also create a career about it. So that's things you want to consider. But also for sure different factors. But this is, for example, for me as a founder also, right, and who already knows who goes with Mannix and who had its own developer journey. Like why what I would tell what where I see is the most problem when opting in a local platform is okay, where are the developers now, right? And that's the biggest thing. But of course, from the technology perspective, platform perspective, there are a lot of the technical sheet what you can see, and it's then up to you. What are your requirements? And what is also one important thing is you won't go with just one low code platform. You would do like two or more. Let's say Microsoft Power Apps, Power Automate. You would opt in for that if you are like having want to automate things where you have Excel, SharePoints, PowerPoints, whatever, all that kind of stuff, all your Microsoft ecosystem. That's very good for that, right? So you would opt in for this. With Mendix, you have the whole enterprise, digital factory, your business process cloud, and all that kind of stuff. Right, really, really complex topics you can build with it. So those are the differences, kind of, and then you would opt in for a multiple, and then basically create a framework where you would, when a use case happens, maybe you first decide is it traditional or low code. Then you go like, okay, is it Power Apps or Mannix or whatever? But you would already have the platforms in your organization. You would already have enabled structures and the governance around it. So it's basically then you can decide case by case which one to go with. Yeah. You mean like the client's organization or from the logo? Like, yeah, how does it impact? Did I say that? Like, what do you mean? Like, of course, it impacts. Like, if I'm a big company, right? I have different IT structure landscape. I have a certain security standards, certain things I have to follow, like IT architecture. I have company compliance guidelines and all that kind of stuff. So, for example, at SAP, you can't. When I did Mendix back then there, and I had to I built an app, and then I had to deploy it to the SAP Business Technology platform. Then there's a whole process, which is basically like, hey, wait a second, is your app secure? Is your app data protection all fine? Is that and that and that? So there's a whole process to follow. Of course, in a small company, you probably don't have that, or I don't know, in a mid-size or so, you don't have those processes. But with when I did that at SAP with Mannix, what the interesting thing was like, I showed it to the IT security team like this. Ah, okay, Mannix actually has it already out of the box. Oh, this Mannix had already out of the box. Other roles are automatically mapped out of the box. Other deployment is with one click out of the box. Suddenly the things were so easy and it was meeting all the compliance and security and data protection checklists of the company. I didn't have to struggle with deploying. If I would have come with a local platform which doesn't have that, it won't happen that easy. And for myself, I'm a very small company, right? I would not do Mannix, for example, right now because I don't have an infrastructure for things or like that many processes. I want to get the full potential out of the platform. So it means like building a lot of apps. You would go like you would go with high speed, you know, you would just enable your organization and go one process after another. How many processes do I have? Or like I don't know. I didn't really consider the client's organization size there. I think mid-size is also good, but there may be also low-code platforms or no-code platforms which fit better to a smaller company. From the license cost also, right? Mendix is not cheap. It has some pricing, and you really just get the value. That's a very interesting thing. What I really want to say about this my experience. when a customer opts in and like goes with, for example, Mendix as a local platform, and they're like, oh, nice, it's fast, it's all the benefits I said, but then they're like, hey, wait a second, like the license costs are too high, and I don't know, like if you can afford it, it's per user and so on, and if you target, then it's like, hey, the problem is that they just see it in one app. They see a managed platform and they calculate all the costs for one app, what it would mean. But it's when you really want to get the full benefit out of it, it's about like you have to go with more apps, all your processes, all your demand. Then you like increase the speed, and you train your people, you get your organization enabled. Then you're competitive. Then the amount you save from time and money and training and all that kind of stuff, then it basically overall makes a huge financial benefit and makes you competitive. And that's the issue what I'm facing with clients sometimes. They just look at from one app and then look at the licenses and the platform. But then, hey, it's about enabling your organization, not only building this app. Then, to be honest, sometimes I'm asking myself also, then if you do it that way, why not just traditional coding, right? Keep going the thing. It's about changing the way of doing things. Mhm. Exactly, exactly. But it's difficult to get to for me at least difficult to get to that decision maker who says who first as an who you have to get who has the possibility to say an organization, we're gonna change something now, like we're gonna add a platform into our portfolio on tech stack, and it would be the CIO, right, the information tech officer, and like he has to basically there has to be a governance created. There has to be, he has to first understand low code too, right? It takes some time until it arrives to certain companies. In Germany, right? I especially feel the digital transformation is much slower than, for example, in Netherlands. They're like everyone knows about low code in Netherlands. Everyone is, I mean, the market is like satisfied, right? It's a lot. Like when you talk about Mendix, the companies, yeah, of course, heard about it, know about it, or we do low code and so on. In Germany, it took quite a time until it really arrived. Siemens acquired Mendix. That's why it's also more there's more appearance. But also, I had a client which hired me just to do prototype, for example, of an application, because afterwards they wanted to go with we're gonna do it in traditional coding, but yeah, low code is for prototyping, no? I was like, no, it exactly can deliver exactly what you want for the production level, but don't worry, I will build the prototype in a way that you just build on top of it. And then I had to convince them what Mendix is about, what the capabilities are, and I was working with a decision maker there, right? And the thing is, like he understood, but also it was a mind shift, right? Suddenly he never heard about it. Suddenly it comes with a low code. I actually just want to have that prototype and do the things, but okay, I give it a chance, right? I understand it, and then after the positive experience, and after talking, for example, with Mendix, it was like, hey, like big companies like Siemens is picking up, Mercedes is using it, other big companies are using it, and so on. It's something then you can really build it with that. I mean, what am I saying the whole time, right? And that's the thing, like if you see other big companies opting in, then you're also open for it as someone who has can make that decision, because you don't want to risk it. Maybe I don't know, and that's it. Yeah, so far to that question. Did I answer it, by the way? I actually forgot the question by so talking so much, so sorry. But I want to give you as much input as possible. Exactly, exactly. If you're like in a finance sector and you see other banks opted in a local platform, you would do it too. Because you want to be competitive. And then you would evaluate. Then you would say like, why do they do this? What is this? I want to check it and so on. And that's also, for example, when I was at SAP, when they sell software, right? The client is asking, okay, what is your experience with it? What did you do with it? And if they say like, we not yet anything, and then the client will not buy it. When they say we had internally we did this and this and this and this, and we achieved this and this and this results, because SAP is a company who built software, but they basically test it out first in their company with the best practices, and then show, and then getting the first client is first. Okay, what did you do with it? So that's the thing. The clients, the customers, they want to have first other ones having the experience or like pay for it basically before they opt in for it. Or you're very convinced about it. You're very like, oh, that's the thing. But you know, like those people, they have so many things going on, and the thing, how do you know when is the right time for what? For example, also AI. Would you go now with AI? What would you do? Is this a hype? Is it not a hype? And so on, right? And the same with low code in the state back then. But now there are like real use cases, real problems solved. Like people, like also myself, telling the experiences, like yourself, making researches around it, and so on. So there's more experience. So it's the adaptation is also much easier because there's more material to look for. When I started with local administration management, when I wanted to solve things, like I didn't know, like no one had an experience. I was from a technical perspective. No one was like did it before. I'm like, damn, am I the first one doing this now, and so on. So it was very difficult to get started with. And the same also from the commercial perspective. So if you like, okay, I want to opt in for the local platform. Oh, no, no one did this. No one had experience. Damn, I don't know, like if I should go for it or so. And maybe there's no documentation, no knowledge base, and so on. And it's purely on, yeah, what my own experience is gonna look like. It's learning by doing. And do you really have the money and budget to do it? So those are the challenges you're facing. Mm. So, you know, when you build a app, I never built the traditional coding app on an enterprise level, and I never would have assumed that I can like do it. I'm like building enterprise grade apps, and the thing is that with low code, I suddenly build apps I never imagined I could, and all of my apps, most of them, were about integrate. I have a system here, and I have a system here, and I want something which combines the two systems somehow. And I don't like that UI, and I like from that UI, like kind of like bringing systems unified in one app, right? So it's about the user who has to jump between systems. So when you now provide them one unified place where the data is coming and going, and they can just follow their certain specific process task, it makes it so easy for them to do. And therefore, you want to have platforms, and that's also enterprise level, right? In a way, because you have in an enterprise, you have so many systems, different systems, and so on. So you want to have a platform which is capable of integrating with all your different systems. So I said in the beginning, SAP, right? So big enterprises have the SAP ERP system. They reflected their company processes in it. So if you have a low-code platform which can easily access your SAP data and systems, then you basically can, as an SAP user, you always I'm jumping to a little bit to the SAP side, but the thing is, SAP, for example, says, hey, build with low code on top of your S4HANA system, build custom solutions instead of changing the system and for your custom process, and just interact with it via APIs. It keeps a clean core. It makes your maintenance easier. It makes the maintenance and update of the system easier. It has a lot of benefits, and that's why it's so important. And also, you just generate much more value with it. A standalone app, right? I never saw that much of a benefit of an app which is on its own, like you enter things, data, whatever process, and so on, but it doesn't send anything back or forth. But then what process is it really in a company supporting? Because a process, if it's just in that app done, who gets the information? Who receives? Where do we share things? Where does it impact the company in a whole? Right? In that sense, to say it kind of high level, and that's one thing with the integration, but also the cloud deployment. So um, if I'm an SAP customer, then and I have S/4HANA, I probably have also SAP Business Technology Platform. And if I want to use make benefit of the whole SAP ecosystem, if I have a local platform which you can just build an app and put it in there, and it's just like any other app I would do and put it there, and it can interact with all the services and all the ecosystem, that's a benefit. If I have Microsoft Azure and I have all the things there, and I have local platform which you can put an app there and it interacts with everything, perfect, right? And that's where I, for example, say Manix is a multi-cloud. It runs on Azure, it runs on SAP BTP, AWS, and so on and so on. So that makes it for you as an organization a much stronger with the local platform. But because usually, as I said, you won't go just with one local platform, but with two or more. And the same with cloud. You won't just go with one cloud, but with one or more, with more, because let's imagine I'm an SAP customer and I have the SAP BTP because I bought it because I have the S/4HANA system. SAP says if you have the BTP, it makes you much more innovative, keeping up with the technology, you can do things and so on. But also there are things from Microsoft maybe I really need. And I can't be like, hey, SAP, can you build that same service there in your? I can't rely on it. So I want to also have my Microsoft ecosystem. And now let's say I have Azure, I have SAP BTP, and when I have Mendix, I can deploy apps on Azure and on BTP. But also I have Power Apps, and Power Apps I can't deploy on BTP, but there are certain use cases in Microsoft world which I can build it with. So there's a different target group or like use case. So those are the things you would decide and go for when selecting a local platform. Also looking at your IT landscape, right? Mm. And to be honest, I'm a little bit, I have to admit, in a bubble with Manix. Nonetheless, I'm looking towards other local platforms or like the trends, what going on or how things are doing. And I have some local platforms I don't really like. To be honest, I don't wanna do where there's more marketing than actually the thing can do. Let's say. So, but let me come to the criteria, okay? What I think a low-code platform, which makes a low-code platform a winner, and when someone doesn't have that, it makes it automatically like a loser. Let's say loser sounds so thing, but yeah. First of all, as I said, the comp. Oh, that's from the Apple. You don't see it. I see it. So first of all, what I see is um, as I said, the technology thing of cloud deployments, all the technical things it can provide you with. Okay, how much it can like support your processes, your IT landscape, how well fits it in. So that's already given. It has to be strong, right? And with that, it also means it has to be innovative. It has to continue growing. It has to continue keeping up with the space. We hear a lot about AI right now. So then, as a CIO, I would be like, do I need low code or is AI now the future? Where am I right now? Is it right now the timing? So if you have a low code platform which basically is saying, hey, We understand AI, we understand or a roadmap, we understand how it could be a combination with low code, where to go, like where you have to feel like, hey, these guys are really like knowing what they're doing and keeping the platform up to date and like evolving with the technology and so on. So that makes a huge difference, right? Any decision I would do, which makes it easy for me when I see that, that's it. So the technology part, right, and the innovation. So then the second is the community. I tell you, like the community is so essential. It's so important. Like we're all social people, right? Anyone, like developers, customers, business people, decision makers, everyone, they're like humans. I like to when I work with people. Hey, we're humans at the end, right? We're social creatures. The work is the work, but still, like we have to understand this. So the thing is, if you can build trust and have like a relation with anyone you're working with, and you feel good about it, if you see the people in this environment, if you feel like a positive vibe going on, like that's how I feel with the community. Like it just gets creates synergies. It just creates this overall thing of yeah, you feel part of it, so you suddenly feel also responsible of you wanna yeah, give back to the next ones, like the community. It just is such an essential thing, and that makes it that makes a platform a winner too. And the third thing is yeah, I don't know. I would say transparency. Okay, transparency is you have to be open with what can you, and that's what I said with the wrong marketing, right? I just don't like when platforms are pretending to be some like being something even they are not, or like just in a little bit, and then like as a customer, I don't want to go into detail in that, but I know customers who are basically are told, hey, this is the platform to go with, this is gonna do the thing, but they're not gonna told, hey, what can't we do, right? What is right now not in our tech stack, but will come later. And what the thing, so it's only about sales, it's only about getting them logged into the low-code platform instead of, hey, be transparent what you can do and what you can't do. And if you have a community, okay, like in Mannix, then it's not even like possible for companies like Mannix to say to make a marketing because the community is making the marketing in a way of you're showing what is possible and what is not possible, what is coming and what is yet to come, because we know that and that's the thing that Mannix, for example, is really listening to their customers, listening to their community, listening to everyone to understand, okay, where do we go? What can't we do? What is the demand? What do our developers want? What do our customers want? And that's a very nice roadmap. Then they create and listen. So you have full transparency. You have full like people talking about it, and it makes it easier. And those are the three facts for me. You are a loser if you pretend your platform can do this. The customer opts in, and then it's gonna be like, oh, now my experience is totally bad, and then sad also for other low code platforms, because the customer will not understand that it was actually because of that low code platform was promoted. Then I think all low code platforms must be the same. Mhm, 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 like and like from their environment. Yeah. That's that what I earlier touched a little bit. I think is like if you see everyone suddenly opting in for low code. You also want to understand what it is, react to it. That's one thing. But also the thing is like if you want to be competitive, if you want to like be innovative, if you want to go beyond, then it's because you have competitors, right? Also as a company. So you're looking what they're doing and then you are thinking either now you can do something which is different than what they're doing, or you're someone who does the same what they're doing. So it's basically, I think they're either way all watching each other. So if you hear a success story of, let's say you're in the aerospace, okay? No, let's keep finance sector. No, aerospace better. You're there, and someone like improved their shop floor by whatever percentage and that thing, and then you look at like, damn, that's actually not, no, they are faster doing it. They will gain more market share. So how did they do it? So low code. So you would be like, no, I want to do it too. So that's how I would see the environmental factor. The other thing is also just the initial discussion about there is a business demand. There is a huge business demand, and I have a lack of IT developers. So when I have a lack of IT developers, how as a CIO I want to solve this, and then you would look for technologies, and then when you look to your environment, like lack of developers is for me the environment. You look around and you don't find the people, right? So then you would see how to, and then the local platforms would say, hey, no, there's something like low code developers, but also suddenly in your team, people, you don't have to like look outside, or like you can change the profile description. It's easier. It's still easier accessible. It's much easier accessible low code than traditional coding. I tell you, even I did so many projects right now with low code, so many big things. I still won't trust myself doing it in traditional coding, and I also didn't want to. It would be boring, and it would be too complex, too many things, and so on. And with that, I have one thing. So that's what when the market does, when the market would have so many traditional developers, so many Java developers, then I don't think that low code platforms would have that much of a benefit, because then you would be like, there's a lot of people I can just hire and fire and hire and whatever, I can look for the best people somehow. That's the thing. But more, I don't really know. At least nothing comes in my mind right now. I think I shared pretty much a lot, including there are for sure other things which are relevant too, which are just not maybe in my mind right now. But overall, I think I said everything from my perspective, right? From my experience and from what I heard and so on. And it's also great for me, when you ask those questions, because I don't just sit and ask myself the question and answer it or so. But when you ask it, then it's for me also cool to be like, ah, yeah, those were my experiences. This is how it thinks. It's also a learning process for me. So thanks a lot for the interview, actually. Mm, 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 mm. Okay. I would say like the decision about whether or not it's definitely, it should not be a question. It's a yes. You should definitely go with it. There is definitely, I don't say like go with Mannix definitely, but I say there must be definitely a low code platform where you want to take the advantage. Okay, and the thing is which platform they should go with. You are no. What is the advice? What they go? So it's about the like it's for me the biggest advice is low code is about, it's a way of working, a new way of working. So you have to be considering that when you opt in a low code platform or low code in general, the most important thing is create the governance, create the supporting mechanisms to enable your organization doing low code and building apps in low code, right? It's very important that your whole organizations understand what low code is, understand what are the use cases to build, what are the limitations for that platform that you choose, but what also are the capabilities. Who in the IT is responsible to talk to? What are the materials and guidance I can provide? What are the trainings and so on? So if you don't enable your organization doing low code and you just looking for certain apps like you want to build with low code, then I think you're missing the whole point of it and the whole benefit. And that's my biggest advice. It's about enabling your organization of doing a new way of working as a add-on, right, to your existing thing, but also it requires a lot of organizational adaptation and enabling and change. Mhm, mhm, mhm. Thanks, Diva. Divya, right? And yeah, where's your name actually coming from? India or Pakistan? But India, okay, nice, nice. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, thanks also a lot for the interview. Really enjoyed it, and I wish you a lot of success and enjoyable time writing it. In the upcoming, I think, weeks or months, I would like to also publish this on YouTube on my channel if you want for other ones also to seeing it. But we write there again. And then, yeah, thanks a lot. Really enjoyed. And I'm very curious about the results actually at the end. I don't know if you're allowed to share it, but at least if you, okay, perfect. Would be great. Thanks. Okay, thanks. Yeah, same. Likewise.